Okay, so we're on my deck, and this is the chair I'm talking about. So we found this at a garage sale yesterday, and the lady, when we purchased it, said it was a, I don't know, Pottery Barn. Turns out it's a Pier 1, but I really don't care. A little sneak peek in my herb garden, and then I have some mesclun here, and then the veggies are over there. But anyway, back to the chair. So, it's wicker and some kind of, it's not wood, what is a wood frame, but this is more like a strips of wicker. The cushion is perfect. I do have to cover it, so that's something, I'm going to put it right here, that's something we're going to do today. But the chair itself, I'm going to repaint. I have some spray paint. This is the back of it. It's pretty damaged, as you can see, but I love it, and to be honest with you, it's super comfortable. So I'm going to spray paint it in dark green, and then this area here, I'm going to use wood putty to kind of fill up where the cracks are, sand it nice, and this is going to be painted dark brown, like a chocolate brown. So this is the chair before. I'm hoping you can see that, even though there's a lot of sun. You know what? Let me bring it. There you go. You probably see it better this way. So here's the chair before. Without the cushion, a little bit on the sides, and it is damaged. I mean, I'm not going to say it's not. Apparently, it's from 2003, so it's 11 years old. It's been used quite a lot and loved, but the lady has to move, so I'm taking it. And there's a lot of damages here, but that's going to be painted. I don't care. It's still very solid. It's stable. You know, it's a good chair, and it looks very pretty on my patio. What are you doing, Lucy? If you're smelling this, are you smelling it? Are you smelling it? Where's your sister? Where is she? Oh, you're a good boy. Okay, so I'm going to move the chair on the pallets over here in the yard so that I can spray paint it. Probably going to do the putty first, spray paint, then do the dark powder. Now the paint itself, I'll show you in a minute. I know it says that it dries in 10 minutes, so that should not be taking a long time. What's going to take me time is to cover the cushion. I have some striped fabric from the dining room that I'm going to use for that. So I have my chair in the backyard on my pallets, and I'm going to fill in all of those cracks right here. For that, I'm using the plastic wood by DAP, I guess, and this is sandable and stainable. So I have a flexible spatula thing, and I'm just going to go ahead and fill in all those little cracks, and anywhere I see a crack in the wood only, I'm not going to touch this because I don't want to change the pattern on it. I'm just going to fill them up, make them as smooth as possible, and since we're in the sun right now, it's going to dry real fast, so that's going to allow me to sand it prior to my spray painting the wicker. And I'm kind of glad that I'm outside, because let me tell you, that plastic wood thing, it really is pungent. It stinks. Alright, let's start with the big ones right here. Just going to fill this up and smooth it out. And then if I feel that it didn't fill up enough, I might have to let it dry a little bit and add some more once it's dried. You get the idea, right? Alright, let me finish the whole chair, and then I'll show you what it looks like. So I used the plastic wood, and I covered most of the cracks, not all of them, only because this technically has strips of wicker and overwood, and I still want to have some kind of a you know, kind of like the wicker pattern, but this is drying really, really fast, which is great. So I'm going to be able to sand it in about 10 minutes, and then we'll be able to start spray painting it. Okay, so now that I have sanded everything, I'm going to go over with a kind of like a damp rag and just remove all the dust that I have on the chair in general, only because I'm going to spray paint and I don't want to have dust. I'm going to have to invert the chair just to make sure I get everything out, but generally I just want to go over it real quick and remove as much dust as I can so that it's ready to be painted. For the wicker part of the chair, I'm using this Krylon Fusion for plastic. It's good for metal, wood, wicker, and more. And that's a gloss. And I picked, hoping you can see that, a dark green color. And the wood part is going to be in dark brown. And I think I said that already. I haven't used spray paint in years, so I don't know what this is going to look like. Let's start. All right. Oh, I like the color. Oh, it stinks. Okay, so I spray painted the entire chair except for the wood part, and this is the gloss hunter green, I guess. Man, but this stuff stinks. It's really toxic. It's a good thing there's no wind today, because I really don't want to stick up the whole neighborhood, but it's already looking much better. Can't wait to do the brown. I'm going to let this cure for a good 15-20 minutes. Then I'll use a brush and regular paint to do the outside. And all I have to do after that is the cushion. I'm ready to do the arms. For that I'm using Rust-Oleum Painter's Touch Ultra Cover Premium Latex paint. This is a gloss in cobalt brown, and this is an exterior and interior paint. I got it at my regular hardware store. So basically that's the brown, and it's gonna look like this next to the green. All right, let's get started. Oh wow, I had a bit of panic here because when I opened it, it looks purple. And I said to myself, oh no, I don't want it purple, but it does, if you can see that, it does kind of dry as a brown. See the difference? That would have been horrendous in purple. I love purple, but not with green. This is one coat of the brown. This is what the chair looks like. You can almost not recognize it at all. This could almost pass for a armchair to put in the living room. I'm gonna let the brown cure probably another 10-15 minutes, and then I'm gonna do a second coat and I'll be done with the chair. All I have to do is the cushion. All right, so the chair is back on the deck and I'm gonna do the cushion. Now it would be much easier if I was going to Pier 1 and getting the replacement cushion. They don't sell the slip cover, but they do sell the replacement cushion, but they're $50, and I'm not about to spend that kind of money. So I have some fabric left over, and that's the one that I have in my kids' bathroom. So I'm going to use this fabric here, and I have two cushions that I'm going to cover as well. These are the ones from the guest bedroom that I no longer use. And yeah, so the issue here is that this is rounded, so I have to make sure I, cut it properly. And then I have no idea how to do this part right here. This is a zipper, obviously, and I don't want to do a zipper. I don't know how to sew all that well, so I'm just going to try to cover it all the way up to here, probably, and then leave like a flap, like an envelope type of flap, and just put the cushion inside the cover and then close the flap and, hope for the best. And you can tell the dog's already been on it because there's hair all over. So let me go ahead and start measuring all of this. So my first step is to just position the fabric over the pillow. Obviously, I want to have kind of like an even look. So the center stripe is going to be beige. I could do it, move it a little bit so the red one would be in the middle, but I think I like it better this way. I don't want too much of a contrast with the green. And of course, it's overlapping on both sides. Let me show you. The pillow is right in there. So what I'm going to do right now is just cut. Here's the edge right here of the pillow. I'm going to cut just about right here on either side. So that way I can cut other strips of fabric to do the side panel. And for the side panel, instead of the pattern going this way, the pattern is going to go vertical. So I have enough fabric to do that, and I'm just going to pin it all together. But let me cut it first, and then I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so this is more or less cut to size. And again, I'm leaving a lot of slack and loose, fabric here because I'm going to pin the stripes on the side. And I have this much left over. I have more, but I'm trying to be economical because this is an expensive fabric. I'm going to cut them right in the middle, right here. And that should give me 2 bands to put on the side, and that should be enough. So let me just do that, and then I'll show you how to pin them together. So I have my 2 stripes, and I'm ready to start pinning. Got to make sure that this is nice and taut here, because I don't want it to be, too loose on the cushion. So what I did here is that I reversed the fabric because I'm going to pin on the inside. So this is the piece of stripes that I have that's going vertical, and really basically what I'm going to do is apply it against this side here of the cushion and join it right here. I don't know if you can see that right here, and pin them all along, and then I'm just going to use a cotton thread and kind of mark where I want the sewing machine to go. Just a general marker, as I'm going to go over with, like I said, some cotton thread just to secure it a little bit more. So here's the second, here's the bottom part, and I just go ahead and start from here and do the exact same thing, keeping my fabric nice and taut. You get the idea, right? These are pinned together. Once I have them pinned, I'll cut them just a little bit so that I don't have too much fabric in the way, and then I'll go ahead and do the other side, and then I'll thread it. I have one side pinned. See that? It's pinned on the top and at the bottom, and here's the circle or the curve, which is kind of difficult to do, and then over here it still gets into some kind of a curve, so I have to make sure I follow that line. I cut some of the extra fabric. Just if you have a striped fabric, just make sure as you do it that these, I don't know if you can see them because that's the reverse, are nice and perpendicular and vertical rather than having them slanted, because that's just unsightly. So it's hard work, but I think it's going to be worthy. So let me go ahead and turn it around, and we're going to do the other side. And same thing, gotta make sure the fabric is nice and taut. Right, there we go. All right, so I have the second side done. So I have 1 and 2. I didn't do the back. I had issues with the curve, so I ended up putting 2 folds, 1 here and 1 here, just because I don't know how to do those curves. And like I said, I'm not a seamstress, but I have this cotton thread here that's a thread that you use just to pre-sew, I guess, right before you go into the sewing machine, so you can remove the pins. And it's breakable and removable, so I'm just going to go ahead and go over all of this so I can remove the pins, and then once this is done, I have to figure out how I'm going to do the back. Phew, I had to put the umbrella on because it is hot on the deck. Okay, so this is all done, and I also traced it where I wanted to go with the sewing machine, so that way I can do a straight line. I can remove the pins, but I'm not going to do it now because I still need it to be reeled out. And this is the back, and what I'm going to do is pretty much the exact same thing. I have 2 strips of fabric, and I'm going to do exactly the same thing. I'm going to put one up here and one at the bottom, and they're going to overlap, right? So there'll be a big opening right here, and when I want to insert the cushion, I'll just, you know, kind of like spread it apart and then squeeze the cushion into the slip cover. Hopefully it will work. So I'm pretty much doing the same thing. I'm pinning right side to right side with the right side on the inside. But the one thing I need to make sure of is that I follow the same pattern. So this is the main cushion and this is the back. So I'm trying to pin it so that the stripes continue, so they'll go all the way in like this to the back. It's not an essential, but you know, it's kind of like a little aesthetic thing. So I'm just going to go ahead and pin it all the way over here and try to follow the curve right here. So I have the first flap pinned, and I already put my cotton thread to hold it together. And then in the back right here, all I'm doing is a simple square, and then it joins over here in a square corner as well. So I have 3 pieces of fabric, basically 1, 2, and 3 going into a point here. So that's going to be the tough part to sew together. We'll see how I'm going to do that, probably through the sides. I don't know. I'll figure it out when we get there. But right now I still have this piece right here that I need to fold so that I can have a nice edge to my flap rather than having you know, this edge right here that's not cut properly. So I'm going to try to do a little round thing here so that it's, see that? So I'm going to fold it once and then fold it a second time right here, and I'm not going to pin it. I'm going to go straight with my thread and needle with my cotton thread right here and just prep it for the sewing machine. So the top part of my envelope closure is done. This is the little kind of seam that I did by rolling the edges, and then it goes all the way to the flap leftover fabric here, and then same thing, I did the square right here. So all 3 pieces of fabric are going to get sewn together right here at the corner. I'm hoping for the best because again, I'm not the best when it comes to sewing. I'm going to flip it around and I'm going to do exactly the same thing on this side, except that the flap will go all the way down instead of being you know, here. So that way I have one that goes all the way inside, and then the one that's going to be on top is going to be halfway through, so it's easier to open that way. I am done with the second flap, and that's the inner one, and I guess that's pretty much it because I already did the cotton thread all around. So the flap would open like this, and you see the cushion underneath. So that's basically how it's going to work. I don't know. I have no idea whether or not this is going to work. So this gets sewn all the way together here, so that the envelope itself would only open up to here, I guess. I don't know how to explain it. You'll see it once it's done, I guess. All right, let me take all of the pins out, and then I'm ready to sew it with the machine. Yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping this works. Like I said, I'm not a seamstress. I have a vague idea of what needs to be done. I just don't know if I'm doing it right. So if you know how to sew and if you know how to upholster, you're probably laughing out and screaming and cursing me out about how I'm doing it wrong and blah blah blah. But that's all right. I just want a slip cover for my chair. That's it. Yeah, I'm keeping my fingers crossed. So basically what I'm doing is just follow the line that I've created with my cotton thread, which I'm going to remove afterwards. And I'm just going to try to go as slow as possible because I want to make sure that I'm staying on the line that's below. Keep the fabric as flat as possible. check it in the back once in a while, because this machine, even though it's a Singer, it has a tension problem, and the back tends to kind of like get loose. Alright, I'm good. I'm really not doing too good here. I'm having a hard time doing the angles. I've sewn them together where they didn't need to be sewn together, so like I said, crossing my fingers. Worst comes to worst, at least I'll have something covering the white cushion. Take the pins as I go. The corners are not going to be nice and straight. I know that because I have a lot of folds that I didn't know how to do, fabrics that gathered, and like I said, I'm really not sure how to handle that. So if it had been a square cushion, that would have been much easier for me, but it's rounded. Okay, so this is one of the areas I'm talking about. See, the fabric is kind of like where I have the 4 fabrics getting together. So I'm trying to just go straight here. I'm going to go in reverse just to make sure I have the angle really secure. And then I have to go this way and think about, yeah, it goes this way. Okay. I gotta make sure I remember to do the edges for the flaps. And for this I'm going as close as possible to the outside of the seam. See, right here. And do the same thing with the inside flap. I really don't know what this is going to look like. I have a feeling it's going to be all crooked and not good. Now I'm going to move to, now I'm going to pick a zigzag. This one right here. Make sure I get the zigzag on the machine, because now what I got to do is all of the edges like these right here, just to make sure that the fabric doesn't thread out. I want to go ahead and just do a quick zigzag throughout the whole cover, only because, again, if it gets into the wash once and it's not properly secured on the edges, the threads will start coming out, and then I'll have threads all over the washing machine. See, it just gives a zigzag throughout the entire edges and stop the thread from coming out. Now let me make sure I get enough. Yeah, let me just go ahead and finish that. Okay, it's done, and I did a terrible job, but it is covered. So let me show you how horrible this is. Here are the round edges, and then this is the side, and then in the back I didn't remove the guiding thread yet, but basically in the back you have a flap like this, and it covers it, and you see here, but that a lot of it has to do with the guiding thread I didn't remove yet, so I have to remove all of that little cotton fabric here, but basically that's it. And then it's reversible, so I can put it one way or the other if it gets dirty or, you know, slightly damp and whatnot. And then what I did was make one of the pillows that I said I was gonna make, and that match perfectly almost. So that's a good pillow for lumbers. And then in the kind of matching fabric, but at least coordinating fabric, I have this left over. Oh, I don't even know what you call it. It's pretty thick. It's also an interior fabric. None of it is outside fabric, by the way. And all I'm doing is putting my pillow over it in double layers. And I'm taking a pencil and marking where it goes. And then what I'm going to do is just cut and then flip them and sew them at about 3/8 or 4/8 of an inch from the edges, and then insert the pillow in, and that's it. So you see the pillow is now in, and what I did is that I left an opening about this big, which is hard because you got to squeeze the pillow in this. And then all I got to do now is sew the rest here by hand so that I have a complete pillow, and it's going to go right here as an accent. So let me do this, and then I'll show you the final result. Okay, I'm done. It took 2 days. One day to paint, one afternoon at least, and almost a full day to do the chair. But here it is. And I'm going to quickly put in a before right here so you can see what it looked like before when we picked it up at the garage sale. And again, this is the after with the 3 cushions, one that's been reupholstered and the 2 that I've made out of leftover cushions. So yeah, it looks really nice next to my little herb garden. We're going to put some crystal, we're going to put some Christmas light all around the deck so that, you know, it gives more of an atmosphere. And then I'm probably going to try to look for a little table or at least a footrest. But anyway, this was one of my little projects, and I'm sorry I didn't film an intro, but really you don't want to know what I look like right now. It's been really, really hot. I'm very happy with this. I think it looks much better. It is a nice chair. It's very comfortable and looks good on the deck. Now when it rains, of course, I got to rush and get the cushions out of the way and put them in the basement. Otherwise, I'm going to have to get one of those sprays that is a, what do you call it, waterproof spray. I could do that as well. You like it, Lashiv? Is it a nice table? Is it a nice chair? You like it? What about you? You like it? Yes, you do. All right. I guess I'll talk to you later. This was Sophia from mygreatchallenge.blogspot.com. Thanks for watching. Bye.